Bushey, certified health educator and personal holistic chef with Kitchen of Life, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to make a raw chocolate mousse. It's to die for delicious. So I'm really not a huge fan of sweets, as I prefer savory flavors, but every once in a while, if you know what I mean, I crave chocolate, and this is my go-to dessert. So here I have some raw cacao, and the raw cacao will give it this dish, the deep, rich, chocolatey flavor, but I find raw cacao can be a little bitter, and one thing that offsets that bitterness is the salt that we'll add in. My palate actually prefers salt. It's not that I salt everything, it's just that I prefer salt over sweet. I mean, a salt lick kind of thing. So anyway, back to our dessert. Hopefully you can get a sense that we're going to have a rich flavor with the cacao and the salt. You know, much like a salted caramel treat when you think of salt with the sweet. And what's also great about this dessert is its creaminess. And I'll share a secret with you, but once I do not turn off the video, even if you're turned off, because it's true. What we're putting in is going to give it a fantastic flavor. And basically the thickness and the creaminess will come from the meat of one avocado. The creaminess and a little bit of sweetness will come from the cashews that I have here that are soaking. It's a ½ cup. I'll go over the ingredients in a little bit. And the richness of our cacao butter. So if you're used to pastries and processed sweets, you may notice the difference in this particular dish, but I can't even say that with certainty because I think it's great. And since this dessert has more fat than sugar, you'll only need a little bit to satisfy your hunger or craving, because a little bit goes a long way. So why do I call this a raw dessert? Well, first off, we're not going to cook it. And secondly, a majority of the ingredients are raw themselves. Very few of the ingredients have been processed, and the ones that are minimally processed, giving you the highest amount of nutrients. I'll go ahead and list the ingredients for you now. So this recipe calls for 6 tablespoons of agave. Agave is made from the juice of the agave plant and is a low glycemic alternative to processed sugar. The brand I use is certified organic and non-GMO. We also need 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. I use a fresh pressed virgin coconut oil, which is unrefined, meaning it hasn't been chemically altered in any way, which again is more nutritious and flavorful. We also have a cacao butter, and these large pale yellow chunks is the edible fat extracted from cocoa bean, and it's used to make chocolate and ointments. So cocoa butter has a flavor and aroma of chocolate. It smells so yummy. And today we're using it to complete our dessert as it contains the necessary fat for pudding-like consistency. I also have 1/4 cup raw cacao powder, and raw cacao is made by cold pressing unroasted cocoa beans. And keeping cacao raw is really important because you're able to maintain its high nutrient profile. What happens when you have more, when cocoa is processed, with sugar and milk fat, it begins to lose its touted health benefits. I also soaked 1/2 cup of cashews in water for about 4 hours. And the reason for why we're going to use cashews is because it'll give it a creamy flavor, a creamy consistency, and a little bit of sweetness since cashews are sweet. I have 1 avocado cut here, and open this up. Take the pit out. Now, the significance with the avocado is you want to make sure you don't have any brown spots. If you have brown spots, it's going to alter the taste of your dessert in a negative way. If you think about a ripe yellow banana versus a brown ripe banana, the two taste entirely different. And the same applies for an avocado. You never know what you're going to get, so my advice to you would be to purchase more than 1 avocado because you'd hate to set out all these ingredients and not be able to make your dessert. So there's just a few spots on this avocado that are brown that I'd like to remove. Take a paring knife. This one really wasn't too bad. Granted, it's definitely ripe, so it fell apart and it's a little mushy, but that doesn't matter. It's really the brown. So I'm ready to put all of my ingredients in my high-speed blender. You'll want to make sure that you have a small amount of water on hand to loosen the mousse if necessary. You'll also need to use a tamper as well to keep the mousse freely moving when we're blending. So we'll start with our liquid, the agave. And let's put our avocado in next. Our coconut oil, 2 tablespoons. Our cocoa butter. Don't worry about throwing large chunks like that into your blender. The high-speed blender will take care of it. The cacao powder. Our beloved creamy cashews, and a pinch, I'd say a rather large pinch of salt. And I'm going to start out with, I have 4 ounces in water, but I'm just going to put in about 1 ounce to start with and add more as necessary. So I'm ready to begin. Setting up and prepping the ingredients is the easy part. If you encounter any difficulty here, it would be trying to get the mousse into a smooth and creamy consistency. So the best advice here is to remain patient. Add water an ounce at a time to thin the mousse, but you don't want to thin it too much. Add a sprig of mint, garnish with chocolate chips, and indulge. So let's see if I was right. Oh my God, that is so delicious. You're gonna love it. You have to try it at home. So anyway, thanks for tuning in today. Subscribe to our channel, Kitchen Up Live. Check us out on the web, kitchenuplife.com, for more tips and recipes. And like us on Facebook. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day. See you next time.